One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet who millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday evening, the third show of the day. We've had three today. We started off with the prayer breakfast early this morning at 8:30 or so. Then we had a press conference that was delayed because of the Savannah Guthrie family press conference. And now tonight at 7 o'clock, President Trump is due up to talk about something I think might be interesting tonight. The TRUMPRX website. Going to be interesting. I bet you it gets a ton of hits. A lot of people are going to get on there, try to figure out, can they get prescriptions even cheaper than they're getting them now from, their local Walgreens or CVS or anything. So that should be very, very cool. Before we get there, we've got like a half an hour. I just want to talk to you about a couple things, and then we'll jump into that. So let me segue into some early news that I have for you. If you don't know at this point that we are already in a civil war, which I've mentioned numerous times, if you don't know this, what I'm going to show you right now is probably going to be, that's it. You're done. You realize we are in a civil war and we got to do something about it. Something very drastic. We're hoping President Trump does what he needs to do, but this is beyond the pale. I'm going to show you three things that happened in the last couple hours that should cement it that we are never coming together as a country, and that the subversive deep state is working harder than ever to make sure that MAGA and the Trump agenda does not work. They are doing whatever they can. Nothing is working except for this one thing that they're doing, and that's using the rogue judiciary. Using judges to just stop things in its tracks, and then makes Trump appeal, then makes him go to the appellate court and the Supreme Court and just burn time. They want to burn as much time as possible so that it looks like it's a soft coup. Oh, no, we're not doing anything bad. We're just ruling from the bench every single frickin' time. So I want you to take a look at these three things. First of all, President Trump, he knows it. President Trump says America's elections are rigged, stolen, and a laughingstock all over the world. We're going to either fix them or we won't have a country any longer. I am asking all Republicans to fight for the following. A, or number one, the Save America Act. All voters must show voter ID, identification. End of story. Gotta have it. 2, all voters must show proof of United States citizenship to register for voting. And 3, no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. Very simple. That should be the entire bill. There shouldn't be anything else written in the bill other than that. Very simple, very clear, easy for anybody to understand. Don't apply if you don't have any ID. If we don't have this, we are going to be in deep trouble. We'll be done. I will say it, we will be done as a country. I said earlier this afternoon, all the so-called black pillars and doomers, it doesn't matter anymore. You're either with MAGA, you're with America, or you're not. That's it. Those are your only two choices. Doesn't matter if you're a Democrat. Doesn't matter if you're one of these black pill nuts who says they're not voting. Doesn't matter. You have one shot at this. You either hope Trump is successful and do everything you possibly can to help him be successful, or, get used to being a commie. That's it. Here, let me show you some additional proof from tonight. I don't know if these are in actual order, but nonetheless, you should see this. This is actually from last night. Federal judge has issued a preliminary injunction prohibiting ICE from making arrests without a signed warrant in the state of Oregon. That means collateral arrests are off the table, as well as arresting subjects on suspicion they may be residing in the country unlawfully. Judge Mustafa Kabushai, whatever the hell his name is, said the actions of ICE agents conducting immigration enforcement in Oregon have been violent and brutal. So you can't even arrest these people. We are making sure at least, we've made an injunction. You can't even arrest them. Then another one came out. This one came out earlier yesterday. I missed this. A judge has issued an order prohibiting federal agents from using tear gas and crowd control on protesters at the ICE facility in Portland. Judge Michael Simon is married to anti-ICE Democrat U.S. Rep. Suzanne Bonamici. This is all incestuous. It is all one giant ball of nastiness. His wife is one of the anti-Democrats in the area, and he says, nope, you can't even use tear gas to break these people up. He referred to the Trump admin as an authoritarian regime, in his opinion, sparking conflict of interest claims. The judge is not supposed to be someone who labels something. They just adjudicate the law. They are no longer adjudicating law. They are now doing whatever they feel, however their fifis are, they are now going to rule in that manner. But that's not the worst of them. Here what is obviously the worst one. This just took place tonight. Judge activist, and you've seen that name before. You've seen that picture before. She's been doing it. She gets slapped down. She just keeps doing it. She's continuing the fight to do whatever is necessary to take down Trump and MAGA. Activist Judge Indira Talwani, notice the names. Biden put these people in as judges, and many of them aren't even from here. Blocks the Trump administration from using taxpayer info to find newcomers for deportation. This is a judicial coup. He is correct. She must be impeached, and this must be overturned. We need to Bukele the courts and end the coup. This woman, this judge, has been found to be outrageous a number of times, and she doesn't care. She keeps issuing this stuff. The Supreme Court needed a while back to come out and say, you guys can't do these national injunctions. It can't happen. But they keep doing it anyway. Even after they've been slapped down with something before. They don't care. Saying that you cannot use government information to find out who's not a United States citizen, how is that even possible to be something you could rule on? Bet you they check you. Bet you they check me if they needed something. And she rules and says, no, you can't use taxpayer info to find who's not who's eligible for deportation. They are shielding these people with everything they got. They are doing everything they possibly can to make sure they can keep as many of these people in the country as possible. So the only question you have to ask yourself is, why? When you ask yourself that question and say, why would they be going through this much trouble? Because it's obvious at this point, this was a plan all along. The plan all along was to flood the border with as many of these people as possible, get them in, get them voting Democrat, make sure you have no ID on the books. And I've told you many a times, these people are shrewd and smarter than their Republican counterparts. They researched stuff years in advance. They knew you couldn't overturn a stolen election. They knew there was nothing anywhere. There was no law. There's nothing in the Constitution, because nobody could have foreseen that there would be this much desperation by a political party where they were willing to do anything and everything to maintain power. And so they knew. And now they know once again. These people are here. We got them on the soil here. Now let's do everything we possibly can to never rid them out of America. They had to jump on the Republicans. And now we find out today and yesterday, they also have to jump on this redistricting stuff. So California, quickly, redistrict. Let's take all the Republican seats out. Virginia did it today. Let's take all the Republican seats out. The Republicans, no, we shouldn't do that. It's not morally right. We shouldn't be like that. Let's not make Indiana do that. They're not in it to win it. Or they are in it to make sure the other side wins because they've got something banked. Something is really, really wrong with people in the Republican Party. They are acquiescing. They're rolling over. They're selling you out. And they just keep doing it. And now we're talking about the SAVE Act, which you saw what President Trump said. And I don't even understand how that can even be a debate. How can we not have every single Republican go, yes, we need to put this in place. We need to make sure that these people are not voting on American soil. But I guess you can't do that when half the judges that are doing it aren't from here either. So you need to get on the phone, you need to post, you need to do whatever you have to do. I mean, we've done it down here in Florida. I've done everything we can. Every time something happens, I reach out to whoever I need to reach out to. I see our sheriffs continuing to make videos. I see Alligator Alley still just flying people out. And I'm thinking, are we the last bastion of hope? Because I understand Texas is having issues too. I'm pretty sure you're going to see Ron DeSantis and the Florida legislator redistrict everything. Just take all the seats because they've got the hammer that they're willing to do it. But the Republicans in other states, they're clutching their pearls. It reminds me of the video I put up earlier about the NFL and watching these guys who are Christian players. And I couldn't believe some of the comments. And I'm thinking to myself, some people are too self-righteous to fight. Some people don't realize you're in a street fight. You are in a fight for your lives, literally. They are going to take whatever they can from you. And yet there are people out there who just want to be passively looking from the sideline. I don't think this is a sideline fight, people. I think this is something where you better pull off the gloves, go bare knuckle, and be ready. You have to. They're doing it. Oh, but we can't be like them. All right, well, make sure you learn how to live in a pod and eat the bugs, because that's what they want. They want to tax you into oblivion. You saw what the Virginia governor did on her first day. You saw what Mondami did on his first day. When they show you who they are, you better believe them. They're not playing. They're not faking it. The only people faking it are the Republicans and black pillars. I don't know how you are going to survive this if you're not prepared. I'm pretty confident that Robin and I are going to be okay. Not just because of where we live, but the moves that we're making personally. I am not leaving it up to some limp-wristed Republican congressman or senator. They will fail you. They will fail all of us, and we're going to be in big trouble. So I hope you guys are seriously ready to get in the fight, because they're fighting and you don't even know the fight's happening. You don't even know how to stop it. And so when it hits the fan, which I hope it doesn't, I hope that we are going to be okay. I hope that Trump has a plan to pull all this out. I am not dooming and I'm not black pilling whatsoever. I'm just saying I'm with him. I will support him. Robin supports him. We are not wavering at all. But at the same time, we're making moves. We're making sure. Like, you got this? You're going to do this? Let's do this. Okay, just in case. Because if not, if these Republicans don't get their crap together, and I mean like yesterday, we could be in a whole world of hurt come November. And I'm not talking about the hurt that these black pillars are talking about. I'm talking about what you're seeing. They're changing laws. They're doing what they want, whatever they want. Now, they're worried too. That's the good part about this. The tied up in a bow before I go to a commercial here is that they are even more worried. They know at this point they've got nothing to stop this train, and it's only a matter of time before somebody stops these judges from bailing them out. Absent that, nobody cares about the media. Absent that, nobody cares what Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries have to say. The only thing stopping right now is that they have the judges and they've got some weak-wristed Republicans. Otherwise, they'd be done. We wouldn't even be talking about this. We would be talking about how great life is. They're terrified. They know they have to fight. They know they're in a fight for survival. And I'm going to show you some stuff. In a little bit before he comes on. So before he comes on, let me tell you about Brightcore. Since we're going to be talking health tonight, let's talk about Brightcore, who's been a very valued sponsor here on the show. You know, early onset dementia and Alzheimer's are on the rise. Reports show a 373% increase in diagnoses among 30 to 44-year-old people, and a 311% increase in 45 to 54-year-olds in the United States. In recent years, when doctors treat brain diseases, they often focus on medicating the brain itself, addressing symptoms instead of the actual root cause, which is normally chronic inflammation and oxidative stress. These factors damage brain cells and lead to the buildup of toxic proteins. Those are the hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. But like much of the body, many brain issues trace back to the gut microbiome. There's a direct communication line between your gut and your brain. The gut-brain axis, where gut bacteria influences inflammation, your mood, your memory, and your cognitive functions. That's why you eat. What you eat matters so much. Now, I want to show you this study that came out. This study pretty much underscores what I'm saying. Kimchi contains over 900 probiotic strains, and studies show its bioactive compounds help reduce inflammation, protect brain cells, and even improve memory and cognitive function by preventing amyloid beta plaque buildup. That's why Brightcore created Kimchi One. It delivers all the benefits of real kimchi in convenient, easy to take capsules. No taste, no smell, no cooking, virtually no sodium, made in the USA, and non-GMO. Today, you can get an exclusive offer by clicking the link in the description, or even better than that, you'll get 25% off, or for even better deal, you can call my friends at Brightcore for up to 50% off your order and free shipping. Give them a call now at 888-418-6738. All right, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Normally the beginning of this part of the video, I usually run at the end, but I'm running it now before Trump comes on because I don't want to do it afterwards. So it's going to say, as you know, well, you'll hear it.
Here's the big finish. 10 stories that you just gotta hear. Number 10.
Big consensus for that. I think we start losing people is when we're looking at people who are working hard every day. The Haitians in Springfield are one example of that. Under temporary protected status, they're here legally, and they're working. And what the employers have told me.
Did I say there's a lot of limp-wristed Republicans? Well, this is Republican governor of Ohio, DeWine, and he's whining. DeWining is whining about Haitians being told to leave. We need our Haitians. We need our low-skilled, cheap labor in Ohio. We can't do without them. It's not a bad thing. Let the Haitians stay.
And time again is we hired Haitians year, 2, 3 years ago, frankly, because we couldn't fill these jobs. And Springfield is actually, put my governor's hat on now, from the point of view of economic development, Springfield has been moving forward. Springfield is coming back. Part of the reason they've been able to come back is because of these Haitians who are there. They're not only working, but of course they're spending money in the community. There's been businesses started, restaurants have started. And if we lose all those, if they lose temporary protected status and they no longer can work and the companies can't employ them, that's a blow to the economy. It's a blow to the state. I mean, if you look at Ohio's growth, just one more statistic, if you look at Ohio's growth in the last few years, over half that growth has come from immigrants who are here and they're working and they're helping the economy grow and helping us.
And these are arguments that you have.
So, anybody from Ohio here? Did I hear what I just heard? That the entirety of the Ohio-based economy is subject to Haitians. That's what he just said. We can't do this without Haitians. We can't do it without the cheap labor. It doesn't work. Really? Seriously? The governor of the state went on television and said that the rest of the population of Ohio can't do what these Haitians do or refuse to do what the Haitians do. And so if you take away the Haitians, our state's going to go to pot, down the tubes. We don't have any regular people. We don't have any Americans that will work here. Now, I haven't visited Ohio in a long, long time, but that can't be true. It cannot be true that in the entire state, the Buckeye State, where I see Ohio State football games and there's 100,000 people in the horseshoe, that none of those people could work. We cannot exist as a state without having not immigrants. Notice how he said it too. He's already taken the hypnosis. They're not immigrants. He can't even say what they really are. And he's the governor of the state. But he's told the world now we can't live without them. How sad. How absolutely sad is that? How does that make you people here who are from Ohio think right now? Because he just told the world, you guys don't have any skills. These Haitians got all the skills. They're much better than you. They run our economy. And our economy is going to go to crap if we don't have our cheap labor from another country. Now, you know that's a lie. You absolutely know that's a lie. You know that these people from Haiti, many of whom are good people, aren't outskilling Americans. I've seen where they come from. They eat dirt cookies. These are not the most skilled of people that your entire economy is built upon keeping them there. It's embarrassing. It's a laughingstock, as Trump said. It's embarrassing that you, as a governor, would go on a major news network and say, we can't make it without them. And I thought to myself, what must the rest of the people in that state think when they hear that? That you're just not good enough to keep the economy running. That's a sad state of affairs in Ohio.
Number 9.
So how much power, and we're talking about influence here, do they have on the GOP, especially over the long run?
Yeah, over the long run. That's what I think is so important here. And it's not just about Donald Trump. It's about the Make America movement. Again, that's what we're talking about, Make America Great Again movement. And it is as powerful as it has ever been. Because I want you to take a look here. GOP who view MAGA favorably. 2 years ago when Donald Trump was running for term number 2, it was 74%. Today, look at this. It's 78% of Republicans who view the Make America Great Again movement favorably.
So my question, if this is true, if Marquette University somehow found people to talk to, what the hell do the other 22% believe in? If you do not view MAGA favorably, what is it exactly that you believe in favorably? What do you think is going to make this country better if MAGA is not what you believe in? Excuse me. Does it make any sense to you? I don't see anything else. There is no other Republican Party. They're all losers. The only people who want to get something done are us, the MAGA movement. The Black Pillars, the Rhinos, they got nothing. How do I know they got nothing? Because they just lost to Trump again. They're feckless. They've got nothing. And if you're saying 22% don't view MAGA favorably, are they part of the Democrats? Are those the Black Pillars? I don't know.
We're talking about something that, in my opinion, will very much be able to outlast Donald Trump. Trump is in term number 2. He can't run for a term number 3. But the bottom line is this. What he brought into the GOP looks like it's going to last long beyond him.
It's a very populist movement. I am curious because J.D. Vance would then be the next standard bearer of this movement. Where is the GOP on how they feel about him?
Yeah, okay. So, obviously J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States, at this point looks like a favorite for the Republican nomination come 2028. And one of the reasons why he looks like a favorite is because the Republican base loves J.D. Vance. What are we talking about here? Someone who really represents the Make America Great Again movement. This is somebody a year ago, his favorable rating among Republicans, 81%. Latest Marquette University Law School poll, look at this. 84%. 84%. So if anything, his favorable rating is somewhat up from where it was a year ago after a year of Trump. And of course, that matches what we see when it comes to MAGA, right? It matches what we see coming to MAGA, whereby it was 74 and now it's 78%. If any.
So I don't know whether or not to believe this. I don't know whether or not this is something that we can hang our hats on, especially since CNN is saying it. But let's take it at face value. Well, shall we? Shall we look at this just as face value at Marquette University, and they're saying that MAGA looks very strong. Well, if MAGA looks very strong and you're an anti-MAGA person and you're seeing these numbers, there is no place for you. You cannot be a part of that much of a losing organization. There's nobody there to take up your mantle. Anybody who runs against JD, unless it's Marco or two of them get together, there is nobody. There is no other force. And so if these numbers are correct, what the hell are these other people doing? And this must make them just freak out, because they must be thinking there's somebody waiting in the wings. And who? Who could that possibly be? And that's only if Trump doesn't run again.
MAGA's grip on the GOP, and it seems like the next in line to be the next standard bearer of MAGA, both of them, their favorable ratings are actually up after a year of Donald Trump's second term.
So if J.D. Vance's numbers are up during President Trump's second term, and 2 or 3% of Republicans say, yeah, everything, we want MAGA to do what they're doing. And if another 85 or 90% of people say, yeah, I want voter ID, what the hell are we even talking about? Well, what we're talking about is subterfuge. Every number I see, I keep going back and I'm seeing this favorable voting on MAGA. I see people want voter ID, and we look at all these things like, well, what the hell? Then there's no chance for these people to win. There's no chance for us to lose legally without being cheated. How do you look at those numbers and say anything but and go, what, Kamala? Good luck. So how is it that people right now, the doomers out there, the black pillars, are even black pilling? You know, when we say we all get together, I mean, the Democrats all get together, and why aren't we such a unified party? It's because I don't know what these people are thinking. They're thinking they can bring somebody up who's going to beat J.D. Vance. They think if, once Trump is gone, they can return back to the grand old party and do things the way they used to. That ship has sailed. And I like the lady from CNN, she described it as populist. It's not populist. It's America first. That's what we want. President Trump found something. He found something in all of us. And that was, are you tired of being second, third? Are you tired of your money being shipped all over the country? Are you tired of paying taxes so some other people can get rich? And every one of us went, yeah, we're pretty much sick and effing tired of that. Well, vote for me and I will stop that. And then somehow it got co-opted into, oh my God, the Epstein files. Like, wait a minute, I'll go back to it. On his top 20 things of his agenda he was going to do, there was nothing there about no damn Epstein files. And we all voted for him. And I think too many people forget. I had done a video where I ran through all the things. This was a while back. Maybe we need to do that again. Of all the things he promised. And damn it, almost every single one of them haven't been done. And so why are people freaking out? Maybe they're too used to success. Or they're being bought and paid for. One or the other.
Or 8.
Senator Cruz, how confident are you that we can get the SAVE Act to the floor for a vote? Do you think it's actually going to happen, or is this an empty promise?
Look, I very much hope so. I can tell you I am urging my colleagues to...
All right. Wow. He's actually on time, so let's do the cut.
Thank you. This is a big deal. This is a very big deal. People are going to save a lot of money and be healthy. So we're here this evening to celebrate the launch of one of the most transformative healthcare initiatives of all time. There's never been anything like it. Starting tonight, dozens of the most commonly used prescription drugs will be available at dramatic discounts for all consumers throughout a new website. It's called TRUMPRX.gov. That's TRUMPRX.gov. For years, politicians from both parties have promised to bring down prescription drug prices and make health care more affordable, but they all failed. It was all words as usual. They failed, and they failed badly. They tried doing this, some of them most badly. They tried doing this, some of them, most of them didn't even try because they never really had a shot at it. But I'm actually getting it done, and it is done, actually. This launch represents the largest reduction in prescription drug prices in history by many, many times, and it's not even close. You're going to see numbers that you're not going to believe. Americans have long been paying the highest drug prices anywhere in the world, while other countries often paid pennies on the dollar for the exact same drugs. We were essentially subsidizing the entire world and subsidizing by hundreds of billions of dollars every year. The United States is just 4% of the world's population and consumes only 13% of all prescription drugs, yet pharmaceutical companies have been making 75% from these drugs. Think of it, 75% of the money they made came from the United States, with a smaller population than what we will call the world. The American people were effectively subsidizing the cost of drugs for the entire world, and it's not going to happen any longer. We ended it. Everybody knew it was unfair for 30 years, but nobody did anything about it. Under the most favored nation agreements my administration has negotiated, the United States will pay the lowest price paid by any other country. So we're taking the lowest price paid for drugs. We will pay equal to whatever the lowest price anywhere in the world. That's the price that you're going to be paying. It's a tremendous reduction. Drug prices in other nations will go up by doing this. They had to agree, and the reason they agreed is I used tariffs. I said, if you don't put them up, then we're going to put tariffs on your nation, which will be more expensive to you. So in many cases, the drug costs will go up by double and even triple for them, but they're going way down for the United States, come all the way down by a difference of as much as 300, 400, 500, even 600%, even more than that in some cases. For example, you will see dramatic reductions in the cost of popular weight loss drugs known as GLP-1s. GLP-1s. Novo Nordisk will be slashing the price, as an example, of Ozempic from more than $1,000 to $199, and the price of Wegovy from more than $1,300 to $199. Nobody can even believe it. A 578% difference. Eli Lilly, who's been very helpful to us in getting this done, will be cutting the cost of its common insulin, drug, and medication from $200 to $25. Nobody can believe it. $200 to $25. AstraZeneca is slashing the price of a common inhaler from $458 to $51, a difference of nearly 800%. And we're also delivering historic discounts for couples struggling with infertility, as EMD Serrano will dramatically cut the cost of its most common IVF drugs. For example, a single dose of the most common IVF drug in the country, Gonal F, will plummet from the highest price in the developed world that we paid. The United States was subsidizing everybody. We paid the highest to the lowest price in the world, which will be demonstrating very shortly. We have some very talented people coming up and showing you how it's going to work and how the website works. All of these discounts and more will be available directly to consumers starting today at TRUMPRX.gov. In just a moment, we will demonstrate how you can go to the website, get a coupon, and pick up your heavily discounted prescription drugs, highest level drugs, the highest level company, finest in the world, biggest in the world, most powerful drug companies in the world. And we had to go through them, and then we had to get all of these countries worldwide to lower their prices and for us, help us lower our price. And what they did is, again, their prices went up by double, triple, and even sometimes 4 and 5 times. But the dozens of commonly used drugs available today are just the beginning. 16 of the 17 largest pharmaceutical companies have signed agreements, and the other one is coming. Believe me, they're coming, committing that going forward, all new medicines they bring to the market in the United States will be available at most favored nation prices. For those that don't know, that means in the entire world, most favored, we get the most favored, the lowest price. So if somebody gets a great price, that's great for us because we get it. So this is the exact opposite of what's been happening for the last 30-plus years. This policy, which is a key pillar of the great health care plan, is going to bring copays plummeting down and save Americans billions and billions of dollars, making health care much more affordable, like at a level that you couldn't believe. In my first administration, I kept drugs pretty even. I thought I was doing a great job, but this is really the great job. There's never been anything like it. Nobody thought it was possible to get it done. It's the biggest thing to happen in healthcare, I think, in many, many decades. Under these agreements, the top pharmaceutical companies will also be investing hundreds of billions of dollars to bring drug manufacturing back to America. It's already happening. They're building plants all over the country. Eli Lilly is building 6 plants with billions and billions of dollars each, which means jobs, economic growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. And it's really a big factor was the tariffs. We're charging very substantial tariffs for companies that don't want to make their drugs or pharmaceuticals and automobiles and other things. If they don't want to make them in the United States, they have to pay very big penalties in the form of tariffs. And what that means is they're all coming here. Every industry is coming here. We're taking in more than $18 trillion into the United States because of tariffs. The companies, the only way they can avoid them is to build here. They avoid paying the tariff. Now, they've been doing that, countries, to us for 30 years. That's how we lost so much business. They were drying up our country. We were losing factories. We were losing jobs like nobody's ever seen for many, many years. And now it's all been reversed, and we've never had a period. This is the wealthiest our country has ever been. We have hundreds of billions of dollars a year pouring in, and we're taking advantage of it. I want to give a special thanks to Airbnb co-founder and now, much more importantly, the Chief Design Officer of the United States, Joe Gebbia, and the entire team at the National Design Studio. They're unbelievably talented people. This group of geniuses could be doing anything right now. They could have been making a big fortune out there, but they decided they want to be with the government and do exactly what you're going to see tonight, and also some other things having to do with our country. And I want to thank Joe. With their help, our American by Design initiative will fully transform our most dated federal systems and services, providing Americans the richest, most beautiful, and most user-friendly government experience in the entire world. We have the greatest designers in the entire world, and they're with our country. They love our country. That's why they're doing it. So now I'd like to invite Administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, an incredible guy, a really brilliant man, Dr. Mehmet Oz, to show us how this beautiful new website works. And Dr. Oz, come on and let's see what you can tell us. Thank you. By the way, everybody, you're going to save a fortune. And this is also so good for overall health care. And Oz, you've done a fantastic job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So you demanded, President demanded, that we have most favored nation drug pricing, which he explained beautifully. Today, you can now get access to these discounted, steeply discounted prices. All the hard work the president and the administration have done now is yours, but you have to go check TRUMPRX.gov. So if you have access, please log on right now. It's free. You get to look at all the prices, and you should not be buying drugs anymore going forward without at least checking to see if those medications are available at these discounted prices on TRUMPRX.gov. That stated, Mr. President, Many people don't appreciate this, but one of the most special things you've been able to do, besides negotiating these kinds of deals, is bringing wonderful people around you who can actually fulfill the dream of making drugs accessible so Americans no longer suffer that affordability issue. 1 in 3 Americans are turned away from the drugstore. They can't afford the drugs. No more. Our most vulnerable are protected. To do that, you need brilliant software engineers. And Ed Korstein led a wonderful group that you hired. Folks, again, would never normally have come into government to work to make this possible. And Joe, just a superstar, and he's going to take us through the website.
Well, thanks, Dr. Oz. Mr. President, I've launched some big websites, and this is one I think you're going to be very proud of. So you mentioned Gonal-F. I think this is an interesting drug that we can check and see how do you find a drug on the site. So we'll pull up the website here. This is TRUMPRX.gov. And I'm going to start at the search bar where I can search by the drug name. So I type in Gonal-F, and I see it autocompletes. When I click on this, I have a beautiful page that shows the drug product. And right at the top, I see this is 83% off the original price. Now, how do I get this discount? I take this coupon and I bring it to the pharmacy. I can print it out. I can add it to my wallet on my phone, whether that's an Apple or an Android. I show it to the pharmacist and I get the coupon credit right at the register. Now, this is an intelligent site. We know that there's other drugs that are commonly prescribed along with this. So we surface them here and they work with the same coupon. Okay, next, what pharmacies can you go to get this drug? It's a smart site. We pull up exactly where you can go to get this. Now, Gonal-F is a specialty drug, so you get it through the mail. I can call any one of these pharmacies and they deliver it straight to my home. It's that simple.
Mr. President, 1 in 3 families is having trouble having a baby. We're going to have a lot of Trump babies with these costs. Folks cannot afford these medications. It's going to change their lives. Now, this is the tip of the iceberg because Joe did a lot more with Ed and the rest of the National Design Studio. How many more medications do you have?
Well, the website launches with over 40 medications, ones that are the popular medications and ones that were previously very expensive. These are things like asthma inhalers, the GLP-1s. And on TRUMPRX, you can actually find things like the weight loss shots and also new form factors like the weight loss pill. Let's click on this and see the discount for the pill. 89% off the original price. As you mentioned, Americans for the first time are getting the lowest cost price drugs like the rest of the world is. And we're not done. We're adding more and more drugs week over week. So going forward, it's an invitation to the nation to check TRUMPRX.gov anytime you get a prescription.
Mr. President, we're breaking news. This weight loss shot that you've talked about a lot, this is a weight loss pill. And with these pills, which are actually even less expensive than the shots, we project that America will lose about 100 million pounds this year, which is going to make not only folks a lot healthier, but a lot easier to manage when they do get ill. But I'm particularly drawn, as I know you are, to the plight of folks, young couples trying to have children. And that first medication, one of the first ones we did most favored nation drug pricing on, has helped an immense number of folks. But the first person to use TRUMPRX.gov to buy Gonal-F is here. And I wanted to introduce her to you, if you don't mind. Catherine's with us. Oh, perfect. Secretary Kennedy's going to escort her.
Good evening. I'm incredibly honored to be here tonight. I'm a military spouse, and my husband and I have been navigating infertility and IVF for 5 years, a journey that has included profound loss. Through that experience, we have come to understand how critical access to affordable fertility medication truly is. Medications like Gonal-F and access to them have been essential to our treatment and to our hope of success. IVF demands extraordinary physical and emotional strength. But for so many families, the financial burden can be just as heavy and at times overwhelming. The President's leadership on price transparency and on reducing the costs of medications, some of which are essential in my fertility treatments, has a real and immediate impact. Families like ours, it can mean the difference between being able to continue treatment or having no choice but to stop. These efforts help ensure that IVF remains within reach for families who are doing everything that they can to build a future. Families who should not have to choose between financial stability and the chance to have a child. For that commitment and leadership, we are greatly thankful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow. That's great. Well, Oz and everybody, I want to thank you for the job. Joe, what a job you do. Bobby is back here, who is so instrumental. He's doing such a fantastic job. Who would have thought of Kennedy? We love the Kennedy and the Republican Party, but there's been no better advocate for what we're doing than Bobby Kennedy Jr. So I just want to leave you with this. You're going to save tremendous amounts of money. Go to the site. We have many of them, and in a very short period of time, we'll have just about all of them, and they'll be available for differences of 5, 6, 700%, even in some cases more than that. We're tired of subsidizing the world. We have to put America first. If you think about it, that's exactly what we're doing. We want to take care of everybody, but we have to put America first. So this is going to have a huge impact on healthcare. No matter which plan they come up with, drugs and prescription drugs, they form a big part. And now you're going to be getting those drugs at numbers, not with a 1 or 2 or 10% discount, but think of it, 80%, 90% in some cases, numbers that nobody's even thought possible. So I just want to thank our entire team. They have so many people here that have worked so hard. And again, Joe and Oz and Bobby, thank you very much. Great job. And congratulations to you on all that money you're saving, okay? Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, so I see you guys asking. I've already sent it to Robin. It is TRUMPRX.gov. TRUMPRX.gov. That's the site you want to go to. Let me see if I can put it up here so you guys can see it. It's TRUMPRX.gov. And they don't have, I mean, there's a limited amount of drugs on there right now, prescriptions that you can look up, but they're going to keep adding more and more. So there it is, TRUMPRX.gov, and you can begin searching. Don't get disappointed if the drugs that you take or prescriptions that you usually have aren't there. They're going to keep adding more and more as they move forward, which is what this entire thing is all about. So short, to the point, and I'm sure it's going to get a ton of hits. I'm sure everybody is going to be looking at that website, which this could be a game changer for a lot of people. A lot of people, I mean, people use GoodRx all the time, so this is probably even better than GoodRx. So looking forward to it. Before I get back to the rest of the videos, because I knew that it might be short. I knew it might be a short night. So I've got to finish off that 10. I think I was at number 7 or so. We'll get to that. But before I do that, I want to tell you, especially about this time right now, because we are in tax season. In 2 months, we're going to have to belly up and pay up taxes. So do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? Or have you filed every year but still keep owing? Did you retire and suddenly get hit with a tax bill you didn't expect? Are you a business owner with messy books and a balance you cannot afford? Maybe you pulled money from your 401k or your IRA early, and now the IRS wants its share. Whatever your tax issue is that started, the outcome is the same. Your balance is not going to go down. Penalties continue to grow, and they go up and up and up. Interest compounds, and many of you are about to, once again, for this upcoming tax year, have no plan in place. I've told you many times. It's okay and encouraged to avoid taxes. It's illegal to evade taxes. You need to find out what you can avoid. Stop what you're doing, how you've been doing your taxes, and call Tax Network USA. The IRS is not waning. The IRS is enforcing collections through wage garnishments, bank levies, and property seizures. They can even file for you against you without your consent. This is where Tax Network USA comes in. With over 15 years in business, there hasn't been a tax case they haven't seen or haven't been able to resolve. They specialize in tax controversies, and they help taxpayers nationwide get back on track by resolving back taxes and unfiled returns once and for all. Whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million or $5,000, their team has resolved over $1 billion in tax debt. They can do the same for you, but you have to call. They are offering a free investigative call with the IRS. After that investigation, they put a clear case plan in place to resolve your tax problem and get you back on track. This is about using your legal rights to take control before the government sets the terms for you. Don't wait for another IRS letter or a frozen bank account. Call 1-800-958-1000. That's 1-800-958-1000. Or visit tnusa.com/Barry or click the link in the description below. All right, let's get back to the show.
To end the zombie filibuster and to force the Democrats to do an old-fashioned talking filibuster. And we have procedural tools that can make it far more painful for the Democrats to continue defending and facilitating voter fraud. And that's the case I'm trying to make to my colleagues.
Well, we appreciate that. Why do you think it's so hard to end this zombie filibuster? And it seems like Thune isn't really in favor of it from what he said yesterday.
Look, I will say that the conference is discussing it actively. And look, I hope we come to agreement. We need to get 51 Republicans to stand together. The only way to force the Democrats to do the talking filibuster is stand united.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
So you only need 51. You got 53, and they're having a hard time getting that 51. And you know who those fringe ones are. You can count them on your hand. It's McConnell. It's Susan Collins. It's Lisa Murkowski. It's probably, Rand Paul. Maybe a couple others. And that takes it away. Just by, if you only have a 5 or 6 person lead and you need to stay at 51, it's very tough. You can't lose that. And I hated what he said when he said, I hope. That's where the problem is. We're dealing with people who are basically dealing with hope and prayer to try and save this country. It's unbelievable.
Number 7.
I would ask if you know how much housing costs went up during the Biden years.
It went up significantly, but why add to them by adding tariffs? It didn't go down in the last year. You're actually raising the cost by tariffs.
You're talking about due to interest rates. You mean like buying a home? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, prices of housing went up 20-30% during the 4 years that Joe Biden was in. Some of the arguments we're having about housing in the United States and how expensive it is, the bulk of it came while Biden was president. What Scott Besson is saying is objectively true. We do have a housing shortage in this country. So we already have too few domiciles for the people who are here. His point was simply that if you put 10 or 20 million new people into the pool, whether they're illegal or not, that is going to increase competition for the already short supply of housing. If you already have a shortage of something, and you add 20 million people who are trying to get that something,
I guess
necessarily you're going to have a problem.
I guess what I'm asking for is actual proof of that being.
There's no
actual proof. She's looking for actual proof. So you're thinking that if that bucket, you got a bucket, and that bucket can only hold so much water, and the fishes in there are looking around to see where they can call home and to see this little aquarium, and you pour in 10 million other fish. You don't think that the property that each little fish is like, up against the window of the aquarium, you don't think that comes at a premium. When she said that, that's when CNN should have went dark and went off the air. If you don't understand how more people are competing for the same assets doesn't drive that asset up, you don't deserve to be on television. It tells everybody you're a complete, utter moron. Well, I don't see any proof. All right, do me a favor, Abby. Pick the number of newcomers that have come in the country. Just pick any number. Say 1 million. Okay, if 1 million more people are looking for some place to live, what do you think happens in a real estate market, bozo?
Correlation between the increases.
Principles?
But
I think if you have more people trying to buy fewer commodities.
Listen, I'm asking you, is there proof that what you are saying actually happened? Because the immigrants came, the prices were what they were.
Is
there proof that actually happened?
I think Scott is actually right on the 50,000 point view. I think 50,000 foot view.
That's what we're up against. We're up against a bunch of talking seals who have no idea about the simple, immutable laws of supply and demand. You got any proof? Pick your number, Abby. Pick one. Pick how many more people. How many more Haitians in Ohio? How many more Somalis in Minnesota? Pick the number that you want and tell me those people weren't there before and now they're living there. So in order for them to be living there, they're living where somebody else can't live, correct? If you follow? So if they are taking property from other people, the opportunity to live in those properties, what do you think happens? The price goes up. Wow.
Number 6.
The right, I think, wants all illegals gone. And actually, the polls show that the majority of the American people still want that.
Yes.
They want all of the illegals gone, not just the ones who have committed additional crimes upon getting here. And I think a lot of us are wondering, what is the plan for getting them? Because it seems that the left has effectively exercised its veto by its terrible behavior in Minneapolis, such to, Homan is very focused on getting the illegals out. All of the reforms he's announcing are with respect to getting the illegals who have committed additional crimes and notification of them before they leave the local jails, which would be great. That would be a compromise of sanctuary city policy there. We don't yet have an agreement on that in Minneapolis, which is the biggest area. Maybe we'll get it. But the point is simply, what about all the others?
So I kind of like that our side is so insistent on this issue. I like the pressure. I like people saying, we recognize you've done a lot, now do more. I think that's kind of how this should work, is that fundamentally, the president and I and the entire administration, we work for the American people. And so I hear these complaints, I hear these criticisms. I guess I'd say a couple things. So first of all, again, you have an entire legal landscape, but also a deportation enforcement mechanism. All of these additional ICE officers that we brought in as part of the One Big Beautiful Bill. That's getting online now.
But so they're not going to Minneapolis.
Well, some of them will. Some of them
Homan just
will.
Announced a drawdown of 700
so
troops out there.
Homan announced a partial drawdown, but because the local authorities are cooperating with him. And this.
All right, see, I don't think enough people understand that. They thought President Trump caved. Oh my God, he's drawing down. There's a codicil attached to that. Hey, we're going to draw down 700 people immediately, based on the fact that they've agreed to let us into jail. It's not like we're just acquiescing and taking people off the street. They acquiesced and said, okay, if we can do this, do you need these people? He's like, no. So what do you think will happen if Jacob Fry and Tim Walz don't do what they're supposed to do? If they don't give them access to people in the jail, what's going to happen? Here comes 700 or more right back.
This is why it's important to segregate. What are we talking about? Immigration enforcement or everything else? We're not drawing down immigration enforcement. We're drawing down some of the federal officers that were helping the guys doing immigration enforcement. And this is what I think, frankly, the far left and also some of our guys on the right didn't fully appreciate.
See, I hate that he even has to say that. The left did, and some of our guys on the right. So it's actually affecting him as well. It's affecting the Trump administration when they keep looking at these people screaming and bitching and moaning. It's like, yeah. So you got lumped in with the liberals. That's how bad it is. Yeah, them and then some of these people too. Some of these people are what's causing the problem. Some of these people, and you know who they are, you've seen them, you probably follow them. Some of these people, they are the problem right now. We've already beat the Democrats. We haven't beat the judges yet, but we beat the Democrats. Now we got to turn around and fight our own people. We got to fight our own internal civil war.
When Homan says we're drawing 700 people down, those are the people who were protecting the ICE officers as they went out and did deportations and immigration enforcement. Most of the people that we have in Minneapolis, they're not doing immigration enforcement. That's true even after the 700 drawdown. Most of them are protecting the immigration officers from the mob that's forming around them. So
why is that hard for people to understand? I don't get it. You've watched the videos, you've seen from people on the ground. They're going to go in and pick up one bad guy, and they got to make sure none of the nuts in the street are coming after them. They don't need those other guys if they can pick up the bad guys in jail. And I mentioned yesterday, why are they still in jail? Why are they going to jail again? Obviously, they're bad people. They're back in jail, even though they know they have a deportation order.
As we get more and more cooperation from Minneapolis and from the state of Minnesota, and we are starting to get real cooperation from them in a way that we haven't. We don't want people there doing effectively police work so that they can protect our immigration officers. We want the immigration officers to go and do their work, and if they get into a problem, they can call local police. As that happens, I think you're going to see some of that law enforcement shifting to the local police, which is exactly what we wanted. And by the way,
now, see, that puts the pressure not on Tom Homan, not on Kristi Noem. It puts the pressure square on Jacob Fry and Chief O'Hara to get this done. And so if you've been paying attention, you saw the police went in and they shut down all those checkpoints that they were putting up. That was one of the first things they went and took all those things down. So let's see how it goes into the spring and everything. Are they going to start their crap again? We don't know what they're going to do this weekend, but as long as the Minneapolis police are doing their job, then we can work with this.
Number 5.
Well, I'm told that. I mean, I've gotten up. I received a call on Monday before last Wednesday, before the raid, that there.
All right. I got to set this one for you. This is one of the grand poobahs in Georgia. And he was one of the ones that came out and was bitching about Tulsi Gabbard and the raid taking place. He just went on television. He's not that bright. He goes on television and says, I got a call about the raid last week. Who the hell called Fulton County and said, hey, they're coming? Who would have done that? As soon as people heard that, they started looking, and it's been found out who it is. Boom. FBI Atlanta Chief Paul Brown warned Fulton County election officials about a coming raid and even shared a list of items agents planned to seize. He was removed just before the warrant was executed. That's the guy right there. Atlanta FBI chief warned election office before the raid that it was coming, and he provided a letter listing all the things that they were coming for. This guy needs to be strung up by his toenails. This guy compromised everything about this operation. You still don't think we're in a civil war? What would you call that? What would you call that subterfuge where somebody within the FBI, the deep state, warned the people that they were coming? Wink, wink. Yep, they're coming. And now he's now fired, which he'll probably get indicted. But he warned them. So I hope he didn't screw up the entirety of the investigation. I hope he didn't give them time to go in and move some things.
We're going to be arrests in Georgia. Secretary of State, his deputy, Sterling, I believe his name is, me, and 2 or 3 others. That did not happen on Monday. It didn't happen on Tuesday. But lo and behold, on Wednesday, the FBI shows up. And in addition to the FBI showing up, when Tulsi Gabbard showed up and we'd heard a rumor that she may be coming, I couldn't believe it.
You heard a rumor, huh? So somebody dropped dime. This guy, maybe some other people, gave them the heads up. It's coming. We can't win unless people understand what we're fighting. Maybe they were told in advance to see who he would tell. Maybe they already knew. Maybe they were watching his phone. I don't know. Maybe this might have been a huge cat and mouse game. Hey, we're going to go serve a warrant next Wednesday, and they want to see who the chicken is out there that's going to be, tweet to everybody. And they caught him, and they got rid of him. But not before he made the call to Fulton County. By the way, why would you have to call Fulton County and tell them what's coming if there was nothing to worry about? Why would you even have to alert them they're coming if everything was on the up and up? You see what's going on here? They are absolutely guilty. to the point where the deep state embedded in the FBI had to tell them the operation was a go.
But I didn't meet her, didn't talk to her, but she was in fact there. So that leads me to believe, and any rational thinking person, that there's something sinister going on here. There's something bigger than just the FBI confiscating the records that they took. So that's why I say that. But nothing happened. Now, after the FBI raid on Wednesday, on Friday, I received another call. Actually, it was Monday, this Monday. Same source saying that you guys can't relax, even though the FBI has been there and they've confiscated the 700 boxes. Arrests are coming. So,
yeah, it's that bad. It's that bad. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that somebody under Kash Patel's watch is sitting there and calling Fulton County and going, it's coming. Then after it happens, don't relax yet. Well, why would they relax at all? Did they not pick up all the boxes? Whatever it is, don't relax yet. Now they're going to arrest you. So not only did he call in advance, then he called back, which I'm sure by that time they were watching his phone. They were watching to see what happened. This dude's goose is already cooked. You might as well just go ahead and just pace around the house. It's coming. Sounds to me like that was a honeypot of honeypots. They knew exactly who it was, and they let him do it. That's what we got to hope.
We'll have to wait and see.
Number 4.
I've been sounding the alarm about the risks that Donald Trump faced to democracy since I was the general counsel to Hillary Clinton's campaign.
All right, so this guy here, in case you don't know, this is Mark Elias. Mark Elias has been one of the, along with that other Norm Eisen guy, these two have been the main culprits. They have been the main culprits for suing the pants off the Trump administration to do everything to basically cover for the Democrats. And he's filed lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. And then he goes on television and goes, we got a problem. I don't know if I can stop what's coming. Don't worry about it. We already know. Nobody can stop what's coming.
You and I did a lot of television sounding the alarm before the 2020 election and what we saw afterwards. And I am here to sound a larger and louder alarm today than I ever have before. I mean, the fact is that Donald Trump has proven himself desperate. As you point out, the redistricting has not worked out the way he wished. I'm proud that my law firm represented the Democratic Party in defeating the Republican effort that we just won in the Supreme Court. But the fact is that when that didn't work out, he then went to Plan B. And Plan B is what we are seeing. It is political prosecutions. It is the threats of more political prosecutions. It is the dry running of how one seizes ballots. Yes.
See, now they're afraid. Now they realize he moved into a different realm. He didn't lose the front realm, but he's continuing to keep the pressure on, and whatever hair he has left, he sounds like he's about to pull out. He realizes right now we're in big trouble. He's coming for us with the prosecution. So we got to go into our Plan B, which is to complain and tell everybody, watch out.
He's interested in 2020, but he's really interested in setting up the mechanism to be able to seize ballots in 2026. He has found a prosecutor in Missouri, not in Georgia, in Missouri, seizing ballots in Georgia. That prosecutor in Missouri apparently has nationwide jurisdiction, so he has found a willing prosecutor to do these things.
Like I've said for many times, look at the contrast. Who looks confident? Who looks like they're in control? Who looks like they're winning? Versus the other frantic side. Oh my God, what the hell's happening? And they're going to seize ballots. Oh my gosh. You can just sit back. You saw JD talking to Megyn Kelly, looking quite confident and calm. These people are screaming. They're running around. They realize, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? You're going to go to jail. That's what you got to do.
Number 3.
Hey everybody, it's Chip Roy from Texas 21, and I'm standing outside the House chamber where next week we are going to move, thanks to the leadership of the Speaker and Leader Scalise, we're going to move H.R. 7296, the Save America Act. legislation that I filed over here in the House and that my friend Mike Lee filed in the Senate. This is common sense legislation. It will require citizenship to register to vote, and it will require voter ID at the polls. This is an issue that polls at something like 80%, regardless of your race, regardless of your background. This is common sense stuff that we think we should move. The SAVE Act, by the way, has passed on a bipartisan basis twice off of the House floor. The problem is Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have been blocking it. So now we're calling on Leader Thune to change this and to force what we call a talking filibuster so that we can force a vote on the Senate floor. We think we can. I'm over in the Capitol Dome room. Across the other side of the dome is the Senate. When we pass this in the House, let's make the Senate do their job and pass the Save America Act. God bless America.
So you got to wonder what Thune is doing. Why is Thune, is he slow walking on purpose? Does he not have the votes? Can he not get McConnell and what's her name, Murkowski and Collins in line? This is what you got one job, bro. You got one job. Make this happen. And if you don't, we are going to see why and who is voting against it. See, I don't think it's a matter of making it happen. I think it's a matter of exposing who the traitors are. Because if it goes to a vote, if it actually goes to a vote in the Senate, these people are going to have to stand up in front of the American people and say, no, I don't want voter ID. There's no other bills attached to it. This is going to be a clean bill. Nothing else, no money. This is it. SAVE Act. This is it. That's all we're going to be voting on. There's nothing attached to it. I think Trump played this brilliantly. Go ahead and get the shutdown finished. Now we're going to bring this single purpose bill to the floor, and we're going to make these people expose themselves, just like Chuck Schumer did today. This is Jim Crow 2.0. You look stupid. You're going to have to, all 100 of them are going to have to stand in the well and vote their hands up and say they don't want voter ID in this country, knowing full well 80-90% of Americans do. That is a no-win situation. You're going to be out of office. It's just a matter of you're going to just dive on your own sword at this point just to protect the machine. There's no other reason except to protect the machine.
Number 2.
So you heard the House Republican Speaker Johnson say that President Trump should not have to testify in the House's Epstein investigation. Of course, they went through great lengths to pressure former President Bill Clinton to testify. Do you believe Democrats should force Trump to testify if you were to retake control of Congress this fall?
This question bothers me for one reason. Number one, you're projecting them taking control of Congress in the fall. Number two, you have nothing to talk about other than trying to drag Trump back into some dog and pony show. Again, this goes to the fact that you got nothing. The only thing that you're thinking about is, can we get back in control so we can just turn things around and drag people into court, into hearings? That's it? Nothing for the American people? Nothing that helps American people have better lives? Everything is just get Trump? And you think these people can win? No, they can't win. The only way these people can win is by cheating and getting Republicans to vote for them. That's it. I mean, I would love to put a tape on where some Democrat steps up and says, here's my proposal on how American people can enjoy prosperity. No, you don't have any of that? No prosperity on your side of the aisle? We can't have it? Okay. I would love to show a video where anybody on the Democrat side says, here, we're going to show you how to keep more of your money. You might not be able to make any more, but we're going to tax you less. No. None of that either, huh? No. Okay. I would love for someone on the left, for a Democrat, to tell us that girls can't, be invaded by boys playing their... Oh, you can't even define what a woman is. Oh, that's it. You guys got anything for America? I mean, serious. I don't mean to make jokes of it. You got anything that any of us say, yeah, that'd help me out? In the chat, you can put, have you heard a Democrat advance anything in the last 12 months that says, here's how we can help your life be better? Kamala Harris decides today she's going to restart her content machine, and all it is a Trump sucks page. Trump sucks, Trump sucks, Trump sucks. Okay, I get it. What are you going to do? They got nothing. And I challenge anybody to show me where a Democrat has something positive to say that will help an American. An American. Taxes? Nope. Business? Nope. What are you going to do? Well, we're going to sue Trump. Okay, good luck with that.
Well, I think they have absolutely set a new precedent where not only do you have to meet the exact specifications of a congressional subpoena, which is usually negotiated through what's called the accommodations process. Well, that's out the window. But then they can add additional conditions to the subpoena that were not even included, and somehow that's okay. And I can guarantee you, Jim, that we are going to use that exact precedent that Chairman Comer set in completely unreasonably turning the screws on a former president to force him to testify on videotape about things that may be completely unrelated to the investigation, rather than to negotiate in good faith as he's required to do. So if that's the precedent the Republicans are going to set, then we are going to follow that. And if that means that it's the president's kids, if that means it's any cabinet official, if that means it's any Qatari prince, you can be sure, up to and including Donald Trump, you can be sure that we are going to use that same standard.
Okay, so if President Trump knows this, I'm sure he watches television. And this is something I've said over and over and over again. The man knows they went through, ransacked Melania's underwear drawer. They went into Mar-a-Lago, had their way. They indicted him over and over and over in different states. They impeached him twice. They shot him. They had some other guy out in the bushes, and now they're threatening that they're going to do this, that, and the other thing once they get back in power and he's no longer in office. Do you think he forgot that? Do you think that he's going through the motions and he's okay with going to jail for, I don't know, the rest of his life? Do you think he's okay with his business being levied to hell? Do you think he's okay with his kids and his grandkids being made to be paupers? Because that's what you're saying when you say nothing's happening. That's what you're saying when you think he's just not going to do anything. And I would just ask each one of you to just put yourself in his spot. If you knew your opponent was coming for you in a couple of months, less than a year, if you knew that they were going to do everything possible to destroy your life, what would you do? And when you put it in that perspective, like, well, I have to take them out. I have to take them out. You would answer that question. You will protect everything that you have, your family has. But these people think Trump's not doing anything? Trump's got soft? Trump's backing down? Seriously? That is my number one credo for supporting this man. I know what he's been through. You know what he's been through. And he knows, and you know, what they're going to do to him if he doesn't eliminate them. So if you know that, I know that, and he knows that, then what the hell are these people talking about? Oh, nothing's happening. We're going to lose 2026. Yeah, good luck with that. Now, this last piece, some of you are going to be like, I don't really understand what's being said here. And then others of you, like me and Robin, are going to say, well, thank you. I accept. I accept your apology. This dovetails off of what I just said. And some of you who were, reading about the 17th letter, listen to what this guy says here in regards to those of us who used to read into and see some of the posts by the people of the 17th letter. You will be shocked.
Number 1.
And then, of course, President Trump wants same-day voting, mail ballots, get rid of these voting machines. There's a half a dozen people, whether it's the House or Senate, Larry, that are up here as we speak, that did not get elected. It was.
All right, so let me just set this up. This is Tommy Tuberville. This is something President Trump himself posted. That's why I left it like that. President Trump posted this, and he's saying there's at least 6 or 7 people who aren't supposed to be in Congress or the Senate. They cheated. Many of us have been saying that. He's actually posting it now.
Bogus, because we've seen the evidence, and if we don't straighten that out, you're going to see a lot more of it this fall, and it's just going to get worse and worse with the American people saying, listen, we got all y'all up there and you don't do anything to straighten it out. We want closed borders and we want fair elections. Those two things they are demanding, and as Republicans, we had better to listen to them and do that, or we're going to lose next fall.
A lot of states, don't even have an ID picture. And by the way, I vote in the state of Connecticut. You don't need an ID. You don't need a picture. You could show them a credit card, Senator. Anybody can get a credit card, any kind of credit card. You could show them a debit card, and that's sufficient. Many states let driver's licenses. Well, anybody can get a driver's license. Some states are allowing illegals to get driver's licenses for commercial purposes. So the SAVE Act would eliminate that stuff. It's very important, but you got to make the case. I don't hear many people making the case.
All right. So I wanted to set this up because now you've heard President Trump through a repost, where he's saying these people aren't even supposed to be in office. They've cheated. And then you heard Tommy Tuberville, which was very interesting. What did he say? He said, we have the evidence. I'm like, wait a second. What are you saying here? I thought the raid was just last week in Fulton County, but that was just in Georgia. What evidence do you have across the country that you're saying 6 or 7 or more of these people cheated to get in office? And when he dropped that, and then President Trump reposted it, it made me think, wait, step back. What'd you just say? Larry, did you hear what he said? He said, we already have the evidence. And Larry's, back up. Listen to what somebody says. What evidence? Where did you get it from? Now here comes the apology.
What were your thoughts about the Epstein files and 3 million pages being released? And, now we are hearing that Bill and Hillary Clinton have both agreed to testify in the House ahead of the contempt of Congress vote. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I mean, this is certainly something we were talking in my meeting today about what I'm going to talk about on the show Friday, because it's just too interesting. And also, I can't believe I'm saying this, but where does QAnon go for the apology?
Huh? Wait a minute. Did a big, massive audience liberal just say, where do 17th letter people go for their apology? Oh, this is getting really good. This is getting really good because we're not even supposed to say that 17th letter. We're not even supposed to allude to it. He even said it wrong. There is no QAnon, but at this point he just said, where do they go for their apology? Well, the only reason we would need an apology is if we were right. And so if somebody like Bill Maher can say, if Bill Maher, who is as lefty as what lefty used to be, can say, where do those people go to get their apology? Oh. Some of you guys are probably thinking, what is he talking about? What exactly is Barry talking about, or anybody else here in the chat talking about when you're talking about that? Yeah, we're talking about that. He just acknowledged we were right. Where do we go to get our apology? That is the biggest admission that I have heard by anybody on the left to say, yeah, looks like these guys were right. You understand what he just said there? You understand the ramifications of what Bill Maher just said there. all of the stuff about, pizza and other stuff, he just has gotten to the point where he's like, yeah, they were right. I looked at my watch, 2026, huh? February 5th, 2026, and Bill Maher is the first one to come out and go, yeah, we need to apologize to these people.
I mean, QAnon, which believed in lots of really ridiculous things, like, Democrats eat babies.
Yeah.
But they were kind of harping a lot on the idea that the elites are running this pedophile ring. And I mean, I made jokes about them. I also made jokes after the Epstein thing happened originally that were on the idea of, well, obviously there was some smoke there. Well, now with all that's come out in the last couple of weeks, there's a little more than smoke.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, be careful. Make sure you got extra security. Yeah, because some of those people where that smoke is, they're not going to be too happy with you acknowledging that those conspiracy theorists, crazy nuts, they might have been right. Understand what he just said. That whole sentence, it's a mouthful. Didn't come from me. I'm just playing what Bill said. Let's rewind what he just said, just in case you missed it, in terms of how he names what they may have to apologize for.
I mean, QAnon, which believed in lots of really ridiculous things, like, Democrats eat babies.
Yeah.
But they were kind of harping a lot on the idea that the elites are running this pedophile ring. And I mean, I made jokes about them. I also made jokes after the Epstein thing happened originally that were on the idea of, well, obviously there was some smoke there. Well, now with all that's come out in the last couple of weeks, there's a little more than smoke.
We're winning. They're worried. They can see the writing on the wall here, which is why the franticness, why the judges, everybody is doing anything they can to stop it. Please say he can't do this. He can't do that. Please don't say. They're doing everything in every arrow in their quiver they're pulling out. For him to say, they did that and they talked about that, but now if there's smoke, there's fire. Understand how that goes. If there's smoke, there's fire. And he just went on Stephen A's show and said, yeah, I got to apologize to them. And I thought it was crazy before. Now, we ain't that crazy, are we?
It does look like anybody who was at all able to get in touch with Jeffrey Epstein, he was the man.
We're doing it.
They just, yeah. I mean, and then they all lied about it. Everybody.
This man might end up floating in a river somewhere. He just came out and said and Stephen A. Smith, they're all doing it. Yes, we knew they were doing it. We were just told we can't talk about what they're doing. We still can't talk about what they're doing. They're even being a little cagey about talking about what they were doing. Are you getting this? This was your price of admission today, to see this last 2.5 minutes here, and you're thinking to yourself, oh man, oh my gosh. Yeah.
He has, and the arrogance also of thinking they could just use their real name in an email, which they did, and didn't try to couch it in, when I used to get pot before it was legal, it was like, I'd like 2 shirts, please, and no seeds in the shirts this time, we had to sort of codify it. No, they're just openly talking in emails about this sort of, sexual perversion.
I heard this, and I hope you guys are thinking the same thing, like, oh hell, oh my, oh. Goosebumpies. I'm like, oh, was Nicki Minaj just the break open? Is it now making its way through celebrities and they're like, oh my God, I've seen some of these emails and I hear from some of these people and now it's making me think and oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy.
That they were all doing, and lots of people who you didn't think, or I never imagined were doing it. I see these names come up. So, I mean, QAnon, yes, a lot of crazy there, but you know what? You weren't totally wrong about that, guys.
And that's just now. As more of this stuff begins to come out, you're going to see more and more people. Remember I said to you, I said, there's got to be some sane Democrats. They hate Trump, but there's got to be people whose noggins are actually functioning. And Bill Maher is one of them. He's like, yeah, I hate Trump. And at some point, I can't believe what I'm reading. I can't believe what you sick, evil bastards were doing. I can't believe I knew you. I can't believe that you were using your own names, ordering stuff like it was at a Chinese restaurant. I have 2 of those. I have 1 of those. And now you should know why these people are freaking out. It has nothing to do with basically the SAVE Act. It has nothing to do with the elections in 2026 in November. We don't even know what's going to be happening in the next couple of months. You see, they're freaking out because they took some ballots. This stuff would eliminate politicians on the left and the right. If it comes out where people are like, hey, did you see what this dude was doing? What you probably haven't been paying attention to because nobody in the media wants to talk about it is how many people have been quietly quitting and going, I have to resign. I can't do this anymore. I was caught. You should see how many people out there are being fired from their jobs at universities, at big companies. Oh, man. I can't. It's happening. And I don't even know what kind of chess Donald Trump is playing because it's too hard to take a look at. I saw this post by my boy at Clandestine, and I wanted you to see this. He says, observe this timeline. On June 2025, Trump and Elon have a very public social media spat that leads to a falling out in which Elon claims Trump is in the Epstein files. Remember that? The result of this feud was a massive rise in public interest in Epstein, particularly on the left. Jump to the present day, Trump and Elon have slowly and quietly gotten back on good terms. Elon has attended multiple events with Trump, including private dinners, Scavino's wedding, Charlie Kirk's memorial service, and a White House dinner with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Elon dropped his whole American Party opposition to Trump. You guys remember that? Remember he was going to have an American Party and they were going to raise money and go after Trump candidates? That kind of just went away. Said he will back the GOP in the 2026 midterms and donate it to Republican PACs in order to prevent the radical left takeover. Now the batch of files have come out proving that Epstein was a Democrat financier, puppeteer, and shows that Trump and Epstein were enemies. Trump was mentioned many times, but not because he was implicated, but because the Democrats were emailing each other about how to stop Trump, and they were seeding the files, trying to smear and damage him. And how the sabotage was once he is in office. So technically, Elon was telling the truth about Trump being in the files, but has ambiguity coerced a large portion of the public, particularly the left, to be interested in the release of the files because they thought it led to getting Trump. Surprise, it led to Democrats, which Elon already knew from the beginning. How did Elon know from the beginning? Because he's probably seen these files. He's probably used Grok, and said, go look at, here's a file, go find all the inferences in here for different people. Goes on. So what's the end result of this feud? Trump and Elon are still working together to defeat the Democrats, and Elon managed to get Democrat politicians and their voters to demand the release of the files, which he knew would lead to the Democrats. Yes, I am suggesting that Trump and Elon feud was fake, and they psyoped the left into caring about Epstein. The only other option is that it was just an extremely fortunate coincidence, which I've said many times. There are no coincidences. They got hooked. They got hooked, hook, line, and sinker. Now we're at a position, now we're at that point on the highway that, or the piece on the board where we have prominent lefties going, oh boy, and notice Stephen A. Smith didn't push back. You know why Stephen A. Smith didn't push back? You know why Bill Maher is kind of saying this soft disclosure? One, because they need to give some people the Heisman. I can't rock with you anymore. I've been to these parties. I know what you do. I know what you've done. I know how you act. I can't be a part of this anymore. I can't have your stench on me. Now that the light is being shown on these people, you're going to see a lot more of these people go, oh, you're somebody I used to know. I can't mess with you right now. You're going to see that come more and more and more. Where all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I guess you guys weren't wrong. Yeah, and Stephen A. Smith was quiet. You see, he's been involved in the sports and entertainment world for quite some time. Bill Maher's been involved in the sport, not sports, but in the entertainment world forever. They know. They may have seen it. And now it's getting a little too hot in the kitchen. And we're going to give our soft disclosure that says, yeah, this stuff might be right. Unbelievable. Good versus some really bad evil. Oh yeah, it is. The Heisman stiff arm. Exactly. Strike the pose. Exactly. Friend just texted me and said Nicki Minaj is on X. What's she doing? Is she live right now? Hold on. Let me see what she's doing. No, let's see what no, she's not live. Let me see if she was live. Nope, she's not live at the moment. She hasn't, nope, she's not live. But she has been posting up a storm about what was happening at the Grammys. Oh, I never talked to you guys about that. Some of you guys never saw some of this stuff. Well, let me take you through. You got a couple minutes here? Y'all got a couple minutes? Let me take you through some of the Nicki Minaj stuff that I can actually talk about on here that won't get me in trouble. Just a little bit of it, okay? Just a taste. All right, so Nicki posted, this was back right before the Grammys, and she says, as they do their ritual tonight, God Almighty will reveal himself to them. The ritual will backfire on them. God will not be mocked. Blessed is the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Every tongue that rises up against me in judgment shall be condemned and put to shame. That was a good one that she posted. That I have to be careful which ones I show here. Let's see here. I could probably show this, but I can't talk about it. Oh, there's two in a row here. What sensible, forward-thinking, cutting-edge leading nation is having a debate on whether or not there should be voter ID? They're actually fighting not to have people present ID while voting for your leaders. Do you get it? Do you get it now? And then the one below it, this is some of the raw stuff she put. I can show it to you, but I can't read it. And if you guys don't know who Chrissy Teigen is, that's John Legend's wife. Let me make sure I don't show anything bad here. Okay. She wrote here. This was all during the actual event. The LGBT has also started seeing through the veil, and it has them pissed off. Why are they getting the gay vote by default? They've moved on from the gay vote to flying in people to vote for them. No loyalty to anyone. The gay community should be able to choose every 4 years like everyone else after the Democrats campaign to win your vote. They should not just get your vote. Wake up. Now, all these that I have the ability to show you were happening during the actual Grammys. Let me see if I can read this one without getting in trouble here. There's some stuff in here that might just get me in trouble, so I have to be careful. All right, so some of the stuff that she put up, like this one. What in the? And that is Jay-Z with a woman, an early singer. Her name was Aaliyah, and she happened to die in an airplane crash. Then she posted this one, or beforehand. Maybe I should discuss the brainwashing techniques they use. They want her to be shut up. Imagine if a 30-year, imagine if, wait, can I put this up? Imagine if a 30-year-old rapper was out here with a 16-year-old in this day and age, and how would y'all have his head on a platter? The guy was hugging and humping on teens in broad daylight, and next I'll get on the owner of the Shade Room and more. I don't even want to know what the Shade Room was, where it is, but she's starting to name people at this point. And there's more pictures. I don't want to show these pictures. This was the one that like really freaked people out. She goes, should I do a daily story time about who's been doing what? All right, I'm gonna stop with this one because this one might be the one that just gets you to realize, right? Your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take people from other countries and I'll let you read it. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, the jig is up. So if you guys want to read some of the stuff that she put up there, check it out. And she's very responsive. She has been putting this stuff out. And I think where we are at the point right now is people like Bill Maher and Stephen A. Smith are starting to go, yeah, shit was really happening. We kind of joked about it because we were told we could joke about it. Nobody was ever going to take this 17th letter stuff seriously. And now it's no longer a joke. You see, it was an anonymous person or persons who were posting all that stuff back in the day. We didn't know who it was. They were just showing up. They were just showing us pictures and talking about things. And we're like, no. But no, now it is no longer anonymous. There are actual people like Nicki Minaj who are now saying, yep, I saw it. Yep, this is what they do. And it's to the point where now you are going to see more people do like Bill Maher and Stephen A. Smith and just back away. Yikes, it's coming out. Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. You have actually not seen anything yet. Gird your loins, pray, because I think we're about to get exposed to a lot of stuff. Nikki's not the last one. Bill Maher's not the last one. You're going to see certain people dodge. You're going to see certain people want to take it head on. Get ready. Get ready. That's all I can say. Get ready. They laughed at us. They not deported. They knocked us off of X, knocked us off of Facebook, took us off of Instagram, took people off of YouTube. You couldn't even discuss it. Well, if it was such a conspiracy theory, and it was just a bunch of idiots talking, why'd you have to black it all out? Why'd you have to make people go away? Yeah, get really prayed up. Because all you saw tonight in that last piece with Bill Maher, what you saw there was just somebody giving you a heads up. And I don't know if that thing got shared around. You've now seen it. You can share it with your friends. And and some of your friends are like, oh, we already knew. We just couldn't talk about it. And it'll be some of your friends, what's he talking about? What is all this stuff? And that's where it's going to become kind of dangerous. Dangerous because in order for you to explain it to other people, you're going to have to show them. And you don't do it unless you know these people, whoever you want to share it with, are prepared. See, I know what Nicki Minaj was doing in those posts. Nicki Minaj was giving you the Reader's Digest version. You want to see this? I don't think you want to see the rest, but here, let me just tell you the kind of stuff that was going on. Because there's actual pictures. There's actual videos. And she's just throwing out the crumbs to see, can you tell us more, Nikki? No, I can tell you more. You want me to do a daily show about it? I can do it here on X. People are like, yes, tell us. And she won't be the only one. She won't be the only one. But I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to get myself in trouble and I don't want to get any of you in trouble because too many people are not going to be prepared for what they might find out. And I saved that till tonight. I told you I was going to go over some stuff, but I wanted to save that so you could see it for yourself. It wasn't Barry saying it. It was a very prominent liberal, two kind of prominent liberals. And they're like, where do we go for our apology? Think of those words. Where do they go for their apology? Meaning they were right. It's going to get crazy. It's good, and it's funny because even hearing that, some people will say, oh, this is too far-fetched. Okay, so you got Nicki Minaj, and now you got Bill Maher, sort of got Stephen A. Smith, and you got other celebrities now who are going to be coming out soon and going, yeah, this stuff that happened, we don't want to get too deep in it, but I've seen some stuff. And I can't do the Rumble thing tonight, but I would tell you to go down. I don't know if you did, go ahead and download Hotel California and listen to the words now. All right, so tomorrow is Friday. TGIFs, one show tomorrow, one show Saturday. Robin and I are going to go see a Melania movie on Sunday night. So, let me do super chats real quick here. Starfleet, God delegated his authority to the church to act on his behalf on earth. It doesn't diminish his power or control, but we need to do more. I agree. Denise, thank you. James Hammond, West Virginia, in cooperation with ICE, has arrested 650 of them. No muss, no fuss. Same here, same down here. Tons, probably 10, 20,000. They are going home. West Virginia is a small state, but we stand with President Trump. Stephen Anderson, let the big boys rule, never back down. Agreed. And Melania Trump, Jacqueline Kennedy. Exactly. She is so classy. Stephen Anderson, Barry's Pups Treats. Yeah, he's over here. Oh my God! If I got to get a different camera for him because if you saw him right now, he's on his back. He's sleeping. He's so happy. You're happy about it, aren't you? Yeah, leave me alone. Holy Cross Day. I live 30 minutes from Springfield, and every single Republican hates DeWine. He is a communist cuck rhino. They can't wait to get that little weasel out of office. Can't believe you said we need the Haitians. Buddy Sanders, look at what's going on in the UK Parliament today. Getting ready to get rid of Starmer. Chiosop, Trump will try these in a court of public opinion. Some Dems will still vote for them like they voted for the VA AG. Not Dems are a cult. They're going to have to start distancing themselves. Stephen Scott Presler is America fighting for America. Agreed. Cutting edge. This is I think you meant to say the Streisand effect. That's, if you don't know what the Streisand effect, look that up too. That's a good one. Buddy Sanders, how many of those people got deported by Obama? I don't know. And Tania, for Nikki's salvation and protection, she is brave. She is indeed brave with the industry that she's in. For her to come out and say the things she did and things that she continues to say, she's not backing down. They can't stop her. But I hope tonight wasn't too much for you. If it was, step back and get ready for what is going to be coming. That's, in fact, as soon as maybe February 26th, some of the stuff you might hear with Bill and Hillary, but it's coming. Have a good evening. Check out TRUMPRX and talk to you guys tomorrow.
you.